Come to Helmuth Ford, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty.
Hi, this is Stacy from Shuttler Insurance Services. Come see me on the east side of the square in Sigourney for all your insurance needs.
Hey, this is Kimmy with Uplift Fitness. We're opening on August 18th at 101 East Marion Street on the square in Sigourney. Come work out with us for free for 2 weeks, August 18th through 30th. Yes, completely free. 5 different class times will be offered with guided workouts for all ages and ability levels. Contact me, Kimmy Hernandez, at 641-660-5023 or check us out on Facebook. Make sure to reserve your spot for free on the 18th. Rise above and stay uplifted.
The 5th annual Travis Greiner Memorial Tractor Ride is Saturday, August 23rd. Sign-up begins at 6:30 a.m. behind Greiner Crop Service east of the Keota Water Tower. And it's all for a free will donation. Proceeds to the future Keota Child Care and Vets Memorial. This includes lunch and snacks along the ride. Sponsored by the Southeast Iowa Tractor Association. For more information, call Mark Sheets at 319-548-1077. It's the 5th annual Travis Greiner Memorial Tractor Ride, Saturday, August 23rd. And thanks for tuning in. You are watching Tuesday Night Tune-Up here on Steve Shuttler Media, Facebook, and YouTube. You might be listening to this at 9 o'clock on Skunk River Radio. Appreciate you watching and listening however you're tuned in tonight. We do thank all of our sponsors, like our host venue, Oskaloosa Pizza Ranch, also Nutrient Ag Solutions in Keswick, Copeland Auto Body, Sinclair Napa, James Family Greenhouse, Sigourney Body Shop, and Sigourney Motors. We go to our host, Safe Grafke, who is hanging out with Crystal from the Pizza Ranch. Safe, take it away.
Hey, welcome back, race fans, to TNT, the Tuesday Night Tune-Up. I'm your host, Safe Grafke, and we have Crystal here with us tonight from the Oskaloosa Pizza Ranch. Crystal, thank you for coming on and telling us everything good that's going on at the Oskaloosa Pizza Ranch.
You're welcome.
So, Crystal, I know you guys have a lot of great deals going on right now, and I think the one we really should highlight is your guys' Pizza in the Park. And I believe that is a $9.99 large carry-out, correct?
Yep, large pizza. You can come in and get a one-topping large pizza for $9.99, and it has to be carried out, yep.
That's awesome. So that'd be a great thing if you're hanging out in the alley on a Thursday or really any event you want to just grab a good large pizza and go have yourself a picnic with the kids or something. So yeah. We appreciate you guys trying to, have some cool specials like that, make it very affordable for anyone to come and get a pizza here.
Yes, very affordable compared to,
It is. It really is. So that's awesome. And, you guys have a very big community impact night coming up here towards the end of this month.
Yes.
And I know you know a little bit about that. So why don't you give us a little more insight on the community impact night coming up?
Yes, August 27th, we're doing a big night to raise money for veterans. We want to send them on a fishing trip to Honey Creek. So we're hoping that'll be a big turnout so we can raise quite a bit of funds for that.
Yeah, absolutely. These people went and served our country,
yes.
And it's the least we can do is try to help them, go spend some time together, which is always, good for them. So we really appreciate you guys, again, wanting to give back to the community and different things that go on in our community. And so now I want to talk a little bit about that. You are not in regular standard Pizza Ranch uniform here. No. You are sporting Mickey and Minnie Mouse. So why don't you tell us why you have that going on here?
You got to move the sign out of the way so we can see it. Mickey and Minnie.
There you go. Look at that. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what you going on over here, Crystal?
Well, on Tuesday nights, we have kids' nights, of course. So we have all these Tuesday nights we're supposed to dress in the themes, and tonight is Disney theme, so we were all supposed to dress up in it, and of course
I think you were the only one that read the memo on what night it was, but we appreciate your efforts, and that's cool. So every Tuesday night, kids 12 and under eat free.
Yes.
Make sure they come dressed for the occasion.
Well, the kids don't have to dress.
Oh, they don't?
The staff,
oh, okay.
Well, they can, but the staff are supposed to dress up. We're supposed to make it fun for the kids.
Well, hopefully next Tuesday we can see more of the staff dressed up. I think that's going to be a challenge to you guys.
And I had my Mickey Mouse outfit all out in the car, ready to go.
Darn,
but,
I should have called.
You did? Ah. That was the worst Mickey Mouse I have ever heard. We're just going to throw that out there real quick.
Hey, everybody.
Not getting any better, so I think that's a good way to end this. But no, we want to thank you for coming on tonight, Crystal, and telling us about everything going on at the Oskaloosa Pizza Ranch. And again, thank you for allowing Steve and Curtis and myself and a few other people to come here every Tuesday night.
It's fun.
It is fun. So, all right, folks, we're going to take a quick commercial break here in just a minute, and we will have Curtis come back on, and we have a lot of stuff to unpack here tonight on the Tuesday Night Tune-Up. Don't go anywhere.
When you need a break, Pizza Ranch is ready. Rough day or good day, sometimes you just need a buffet. And we've got all your favorites always ready to serve. Come to the place that puts a smile on your face. Make it a buffet day at Pizza Ranch.
At Nutrien Ag Solutions, we are dedicated to your success. We partner with growers like you to expand your possibilities with unparalleled offerings. Your unique challenges are met with more customized solutions than anyone else can offer. With you, we're feeding the future together.
At Copeland Auto Body, we strive to be the area's consistent provider of advanced collision repair. We want all of our customers to have a stress-free experience when they bring their car to Copeland Auto Body. Give them a call at 641-653-2140. Find them online at CopelandAutoBody.com. Copeland Auto Body, located in Hedrick, Copeland Collision Center in Oskaloosa, and Copeland Towing and Recovery in Sigourney. For auto body and towing for Hedrick, Oskaloosa, and Sigourney, see Copeland Auto Body. Got a problem under the hood? At Sinclair Napa, we're here to help. No matter if you're tuning up the family car, gearing up your heavy-duty truck, or maintaining your boat, we have the know-how you need to keep your ride running strong. Whether it's top-notch parts, expert advice, or unbeatable customer service, Sinclair Napa is your one-stop shop for all your automotive needs. Because at Sinclair Napa, we don't just sell parts, we're here to help you get the job done. Stop by today in Sigourney, Montezuma, Williamsburg, Centerville, or Ottumwa, or visit us at SinclairNapa.com. Hey, we are back here at the Oskaloosa Pizza Ranch for Tuesday Night Tune-Up on Steve Shuttler Media and Skunk River Radio. All right, let's go to Safe and Curtis, who are standing by, guys.
Holy cow, race fans. Welcome back to the Tuesday Night Tune-Up. And Curtis, what a last week and a few days we have had here in Iowa.
Indeed.
Boy.
All across the country, actually.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. It's been wild.
Yeah.
If you want to talk about more headlines, storylines, Cinderella stories, boy, you got to go back a few years to get this many different things that have happened in the sport, I think, all in all into 1 week.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and I think that we kind of deserve a little bit of credit because if you remember back a few weeks ago when the whole sprint car silly season thing kind of kicked off, we said that come Nationals time, you might see some big stuff. And not only did the Nationals happen last week over Knoxville, but there's a pretty big bombshell that dropped today that I definitely didn't have on my bingo card.
I don't think anyone did. If you did and you had hedged a bet on that somewhere in some place like in Vegas, congrats, because you probably just made a ton of money. Because I think I personally, I don't think anyone saw this coming. I don't even know if the driver saw it coming. I don't even know if really any of the team saw this coming, but I think we're going to start things out here with Tony Stewart Racing announced earlier today that they have a driver change-up in the number 15 car. They have released Donnie Schatz as their driver after a little over 18 years and have hired the Madman, Kerry Madsen to wheel the 15 car for the remainder of the year. They figured that they weren't going to be in top 10 in driver points anyway, so they are now just going after owners' points now. But, boy, you want to talk about
bombshell.
Man, I tell you what, Donnie did not have a great qualifying night.
No.
He went into Hard Knocks, but as Donnie Schatz does Donnie Schatz stuff, I mean, another Nationals, another, A main.
27 in a row or something? Did I see that?
27 in a row. Right? Yeah, and man, I literally don't think that anyone could have expected for this to happen. I know earlier this year, the headline with TSR was to drop Ford performance motors and go back to a Chevrolet motor, and I think a lot of people were hedging their bets that
was going to be the light switch.
Yep. And we talked about it, and I think everyone was kind of on the same page with that's going to be the turnaround maybe that team needed. They had some personnel leave, which is always tough. A lot of people that have been with Donnie for a long time are now not with that organization, and I know it's been a very frustrating, challenging year. I know Donnie also seems to be wanting to help Amelia and Leah.
Is it Layla?
Layla, yep. They're his
nieces yep.
with their racing programs. Yep. So I feel like it's been a really weird year for Donnie Schatz, but at the same time, I wouldn't say it's been necessarily abnormal what's happened with him in the last 5 years, I would say. I mean, I just feel like normally Nationals come, he gets into the A main, and then really the kind of the last half of the quarter or so of the season is kind of his time. And unfortunately, we're not going to see that this year.
No, we're not, and I think it's surprising too, because I think you're exactly right. A lot of people thought that Ford deal was going to be it. Now, me personally, I wasn't so sure. Like Justin Fielder on Dirt Tracker, he kind of shared those same sentiments, and I agreed with him at the time.
Yeah.
That it wasn't. Now, obviously, it's easy to Monday morning quarterback that and say, right. That didn't really affect anything, but as well as the other TSR car did. With the Ford at the same time, as well as the Rodin car, running it, and I just thought, man, that can't be all that they're missing. And then they were searching around on some different shock stuff, and then Donnie was driving Guy Forbrook's car at a test session at Knoxville, and a lot of little things kind of were bouncing around there, and now they kind of have led us to where we are today. So definitely a shocking thing. I personally didn't think that this day would ever come.
No, I figured it would be Donnie retiring on his own terms with them.
And then that team going away or right. Potentially hiring another driver, something along those lines. Right. I agree 100% with you. So that's a big one.
So what I'm going to be curious is Kerry Madsen obviously has been a terrific racer here from Australia. He's
extremely talented. Yep.
We saw him get into the Roth car a few years ago when they were working with Toyota to help that motor program, and he came in, and that's the thing with Kerry is he's always been really helpful with these teams when they're wanting to experiment with different things. He is very good at that.
Yeah.
He led Roth down, and Roth said this too, that they helped lead down the path they needed to go with the Toyota motors. He helped TRD out with that a lot. He had a lot of good input, knew what they needed to do, and that motor program just keeps getting stronger and stronger.
It does.
What's happened with Buddy now with those motors.
Yep.
So I think the big sticker question now is TSR going to go back to a Ford for Kerry to help them with that? I don't know.
That's a good question,
I could see that being a thing because he was so pivotal in the Toyota.
Yep.
I could see this being a move because Ford wants to come back and they wanted someone maybe that could be that pivot point to help them and steer them.
You might be right.
I mean, you have Justin Peck, who's running the Routine car, and Justin, another one of those drivers where he knows the cars. He gets the insight. He's very hands-on,
right,
like Kerry is. So I have a feeling that in the number 15 Tony Stewart racing car, you are going to see a Ford Performance engine back under the hood of that thing.
You might be right. I know at the time that they switched, they said it was due to the Ford engine parts availability thing. I didn't 100% buy that at the time.
I didn't either.
But at the same time, I think that it could very well be that. So I think you might be right. You could see that. I know Kerry was he running Tony's car the last year that when Tony kind of stepped out.
A little bit.
Did Kerry run
he
that?
ran a little bit.
I thought he did, and I thought he actually outran Donnie quite a fair share of that stuff. So
and Kerry, now that he's been back in the seat here more and more with Vermeer and some of these other teams, I mean, he has been he's looking again like kind of that younger Kerry Madsen. So I'm hoping for the best for him and that team.
Yep.
It's just very shocking. I don't think this was not on any bingo cards. This wasn't like a thing coming up. And I think the other one that big happened as well was
maybe less surprising.
Maybe yes, no. I think
I don't think it's surprising at all.
Okay. Yeah. I'm kind of torn how I feel.
Yeah.
If it was or not.
I hear you.
I think the other one is Spencer Baston out of the Jason Myers racing car. I was honestly expecting him to at least finish the year out with that team, but I know everything that happened at the Nationals was not good. So yeah, I'm not. I am shocked, but I'm not shocked.
They haven't had a very good season.
They have not,
and I don't think that it's. I think that this is just one of those cases because, let's face it, Spencer's he's a good shoe.
He
right?
is,
and that's obviously a really good team.
Yes.
I think we're seeing the Corey Day effect a little bit. Corey's in that car all year last year and does absolutely amazing things, does Kyle Larson / Corey Day type things.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, somebody that's only extremely good gets in it, and maybe they're exposed to some holes there. So that'll be an interesting one to follow as well. To see,
and I feel like
what's going on there.
I feel like that's been a hard thing where you see a lot of these 2-car teams that are now becoming more 1-car teams. I mean, there's still some out there, but we just saw with Casey Kane, Tony Stewart, Roth. I mean, even if you look at Jason Johnson Racing, technically they had 2 teams because Phil had his own team going with the 14 with PPM. And that dissolved. They went back to just Jason Johnson Racing. So I think it's getting harder to have these 2-car teams because it's getting to a point where you have to be so dialed in on either of these traveling series. And I mean, let's face it, also too, financially wise, it's tough.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think there's no lack of challenges.
But I think you're seeing too much of a team that is split, and then it's hard for the one person that's in charge of both teams to try to keep both kind of on a same level base. So you are starting to see more of these one-car teams pop up, but then you see them go back to a 1-car team, and they seem to start hitting on all cylinders.
Well, except for the TSR deal, that didn't.
No,
but yeah, I think you're right. I mean, Roth has never been arguably stronger since Lasowski drove it. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, they had really good luck with James McFadden.
Well,
that 1 year.
That's true. That's true. But you know, he and Buddy were kind of a two-car team.
I would
you know,
say
last year.
Consistency, though.
Yeah.
Consistency, yes. I 100% agree.
Yep. No, I think you might be. I think you might be onto something. And you know, I know in the 80s in NASCAR, when some teams like Junior Johnson was trying to do the 11 and the 12, you know, cars, and basically internally, you know, there was one good carburetor, right? So who gets the good carburetor, you know? And and that was kind of what led to somewhat of the challenges with that situation. So I'm not saying that that's the case in these, because I truly don't think so. I think it's just I think it really highlights the fact that that even though, you know, there may be 20 or 30 really good guys, that chemistry matters more today than it ever really has, in my opinion, because literally you can buy everything you need to put together those cars.
And I don't mean this in a bad way, but you know, back in the day when you had, you know, Steve Kinzer, Danny Lasowski, those guys running, and I've been fortunate enough, luckily, lately to be talking to Ronnie Day some and talking about how much ingenuity and things that they were trying to do back then. And you saw a lot more of these drivers having these, you know, like even talking to Danny and Steve some, you know, they're like, oh yeah, you know, we thought if we could change the top wing to make them this size instead of that size. And then we tried this and then we tried that. And then, you know, they tried to build a mile track at Eldora, and we went and tested there, and it was crazy. And so I don't want to say the drivers now aren't innovative, because that's not what I'm taking, but it was just different back then, because you had a driver thinking more, not necessarily just about driving the car. You saw it more of, how can I beat the other guy next to me in ways of building the car.
Yeah, and you know, and I think that really actually probably started with Doug Wolfgang when he got with Trossel.
Yes,
in their, you know, late 70s, early 80s, whenever that was, and I can remember hearing those stories about, you know, he was able to save a couple 100 pounds off of a sprint car over one winter. You know, and it's like, holy moly, you know, like...
That's a lot of weight.
Yeah, you know, and in today's world, especially in wing sprint cars, but I mean, it really trickles to everything. I don't care if we're talking about wing sprint cars, non-wing sprint cars, dirt late models, modified, stock cars, hobby stocks. You know, the fields have never been closer, because everybody has access to that stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Back then, there were only so many Carl Kinzers. There were only so many Deuce Terrell, you know. There were only so many Davy Brown Sr., you know.
Right.
So that's really, I think, what did that. Plus, the other thing, too, I think in today's world, and I'm a driver, and this pains me to say, but I think that especially in some of those upper echelons, I don't know that the driver matters nearly as much today as it did 30 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. No, and I agree, because, you know, it's so important, the team chemistry now, and that kind of leads me to my next thing was, you know, Ty Wolfgang, who has been a pivotal role for, you know, Casey Kane Racing for a long time.
Right.
We've seen him with Brad Sweet. We've seen him with Casey.
Yep.
And then you saw him at Nationals with Tanner Holmes.
Correct.
And now he's with Vermeer Motorsports. And so you look at a guy like Ty, and everyone wants him because of this role he's playing and how good he can be with the drivers and understand them and build that chemistry with them. But you see more of it relying on that chemistry now, and I think that's been a struggle with some of these teams, is they don't have that chemistry because it gets taken away due to, you know, not having the results, or they say one wrong thing, or it's just racing is so much different now than it ever has been. And I think a big part of that is too, like we were talking, is you go back to rule packages, you go back to the changing. We talk about how, there's racing simulators now, and there's the iRacing stuff, and then you look even further and you look at, they're going and they're 3D scanning cars to look at different things, and they have cameras and all these different points to look at the drivers and heart rates and all sorts of different. We're at a point where technology is starting to take over the human innovation side. Honestly, that's how I feel to a point, is that we're using, like AI technology and all this, and it's a lot different than how it was back then when you had Doug Wolfgang, figuring out how to shave 200 pounds off a car, by, taking either something off or changing this a little bit or using a different material or whatever. And, the guys messing with wing angles, and it's just a very different sport now than it ever has been. And that chemistry is so important, and when we don't see the chemistry, we're not seeing the results from these teams.
Yeah, I think you might be right. And when I say the driver matters less today, I don't mean that the Kyle Larsons and the Cordy Days that are literally once in a generation type talents. I'm not trying to take anything away from them. Please don't read into that, because they are absolutely amazing. But we saw this at a multitude of racetracks. You don't see the guy that wins. When Steve Kinser win 30 or 40 outlaw features in some of his dominant years. You just don't see that anymore. No. And I think that really comes from that parity. Now, you could argue that the parity is a great thing. NASCAR has lobbied for that over the last 30 some years. Unfortunately, what that gets you to is that all the cars go the same speed and nobody can pass each other.
That sounds like a Sunday afternoon.
And I think we're maybe a little bit dangerously close to that in multiple different racing series. And that's as a racer who, I go to the races to see passing. Right, that's what I want to do as a driver. That's what I want to do as a car owner for Cole. I want to see him passing cars. That's what's entertaining for me. I think that this could maybe lead into a bigger thing, right? Is this what is potentially helping? NASCAR's on a pretty big decline. And if you ask anybody but them, right, they say, "Oh no, we've never been stronger," and this, that, and the other. But
it's a slippery slope downhill.
Right. The on-track product would argue significantly differently.
Yes.
So and things like that. So but again, a couple big driver shakeups following the Nationals. Let's talk about the Nationals themselves.
So and going back to kind of some of the stuff we're talking about, when you talked about the Corey Days, the Kyle Larsons and stuff like that. Let me run this one by you. Never ran the Knoxville Nationals. Has 5 feature wins this year at Knoxville in his 3rd season in wing sprint car. Comes from Oklahoma by way of USAC Midget Racing. Has ice in his veins and keeps his cool.
Obviously.
18 years old, 11 months and 14 days, and a name that hardly anyone has heard of. Not a lot of huge giant sponsors on the car. Has like 5 people helping him on the car. Comes in, pole sitter, high points man.
Did he win a preliminary night?
Wins a prelim night.
High point man. Sits on the pole.
Goes out. And at one point so really just a Knoxville regular, which we haven't heard this in a long time. Knoxville regular starting on, well, not just starting on the pole, but at one point has a almost 4-second lead over the 5 best drivers to ever come out of California. Gets through lap traffic when no one else can, and leads all 50 laps of the Knoxville Nationals. If you don't know who I'm talking about, I am talking about Ryan Timms, a name that will surely not ever be forgotten. If it is, it's going to be a really sad day because what a week for that kid.
Yeah, no doubt. I wish I could go pick him as my dark horse last week. If I could go back in time and do that. Did. So, but yeah, excellent job. Right. I mean, he literally did exactly what the Knoxville Nationals demands you do, and that is perform every single time you're on the racetrack. Performed in time trials, performed in his heat race, performed in his preliminary race, performed in the A-Main on Saturday night, and absolutely decimated that deal. And you're exactly right. I don't care how you want to look at it. You want to look at it from the weekly racer angle. You want to look at it from the kid's only 18 years old. You want to look at it from, not one of the traveling teams, not one of the biggest teams that we normally think about. But at the same time, if you remember back 3 years ago, he made a pretty big splash when he first got into wing sprint cars, and then he kind of had a little sophomore slump.
He did.
And
then he got the right people behind him.
Right. And I think that he got exactly. I think he got in the right situation, and they just continued to build on that.
Yeah, it's Chad Luberg with him, who isn't necessarily a name that a lot of people have heard of, but
they will now.
I've heard of him, and he has been a pivotal role for a lot of young drivers trying to learn how to get into a car. And the thing that impresses me more with Ryan Timms than the win and the way he got through lap traffic, listening to him talk after his wins at Knoxville this season plus the Nationals, seeing how he composes himself off the track, you would not think that this kid is 18 years old. Not only that, he has this professionalism to him that is what every car owner, crew chief, car chief wants from someone, is a kid who comes in calm, collected, even in a bad situation. I've seen him where he's just like, we had a rough night. We're going to regroup. We're going to reset. We'll get ready for next week or tomorrow night or whenever. And this kid literally is just like, halfway point, they're like, you can do anything in the car. He's like, nah, it feels really good. I just got to, keep my head down and keep going. And it's like,
wow.
How is this kid 18 years old?
Yeah. No, it's impressive. I don't care what angle you look at it from. And the fact that you can look at it from several different angles and be super impressed is also amazing. So I would say that this is probably dare say we go back to Bobby Allen winning in 1991 or whatever year that was.
Right, absolutely. So my thing is
probably the biggest upset since then.
I would agree 100%. I mean, I would say, it's
maybe Jason Johnson,
maybe
a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, Jason's was
known
quite
as he was known as a 360 guy kind of for years.
He was,
but
I would
still,
say for a kid, I would say it's bigger. And not to take anything away from Jason Johnson or Jason Johnson Racing, is this kid wasn't known for wing sprint car racing before. He came from midget racing. So I'm going at the angle of this kid came from midget racing, where he was very successful. And we've seen other guys from USAC, either the 410 non-wing series or the midget series, come into wing sprint car racing and struggle. And when I mean struggle, I mean struggle.
Yeah,
several different teams. Yep. They get in these really bad slumps. Now you look at like Tyler Courtney. He's one of those rare breeds, and that's where I'm going to put Ryan Timm. Is this kid is going to be on a different level, and this definitely was not a fluke. I feel I've heard people, the Facebook people said, the track was a lot heavier and they didn't run an E-main and yada yada yada, track condition.
All that's true. All that's true.
Yeah.
But he still had to go do it.
But you have to go out there for 50 laps
Yep.
and make it happen and manage your equipment, work through that lap traffic.
Yeah.
Know you have Kyle Larson, Rico Abreu, who won the 360 Nationals, single-handedly destroyed the field.
Yeah.
You had those guys coming up behind you, and yet you were able to hold I think the lowest I saw his lead get was like 1.8 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely
incredible.
impressive. You're 100% true.
Now, could he win it next year? Maybe. I don't know. But this was not a fluke deal. This kid is going to keep winning races and being successful.
My question is how many times has his phone rang since Saturday night with
offers,
with owners showing interest from bigger series, right?
And I'll be honest,
whether that's other sprint car owners,
yeah,
whether that's NASCAR stock car guys, is that IndyCar guys? That's to me, that's a big question.
And if you want my honest answer, I hope he says no to a lot of that. And here's why. You see this happen with certain drivers where, I'm going to use Steve Kinser for an example real quick. He was one that tried the NASCAR stuff, did not work at all. But I'm not gonna.
But that wasn't. He was with a team that was on its way out. Though.
I agree, but I just
like Corey Day's deal is a lot different.
It
right?
is.
Kyle
I
Larson's
agree with
deal
that.
is a lot different.
I just want to see him. I hope to see him wait a little bit longer. I would like to see him. I would like to see him stay and keep the team atmosphere he has a little bit longer. I'd say another year to really help get that development. I think
I hear
a little wetter.
I hear what you're saying, but at the same time, if that's my son, we are striking while the iron is hot because the iron may never be hot again. And I'm not saying that Ryan Timms won't ever run good again because I think that he will. I'm just saying that sometimes a bird and feather is so anyway.
See both sides.
Yeah,
it's
right,
hard.
right.
And, I just don't want it to be one of those stories where it's like Ryan Timms won the Knoxville Nationals. Well, what happened?
Yeah.
To him.
No, I hear you.
Which you could see, that's happened before. And terrific young kid, though. He has such a bright future.
I think you're exactly right.
I can't wait to see what happens. So, real quick, we're going to take a quick commercial break.
Yep.
And then we're going to come back and talk about late model stuff.
Yep.
We got to talk about Kyle Strickler. We're going to talk about North-South 100. And we have a few other big races coming up around here to talk about as well. So we're going to take a quick commercial break on TNT, the Tuesday Night Tune-Up, and we'll be right back.
Stop by James Family Greenhouse and Produce in Sigourney. They have a variety of hanging baskets, annuals, shrubs, perennials, trees, mulch, and vegetable plants. Plus, you can spruce up your landscape with yard decor or decorate the inside of your home with home decor. James Family Greenhouse is also a great place to stop in for some gift ideas. You gotta stop in and see it all for yourself. James Family Greenhouse at 701 East Jackson in Sigourney. And be sure to follow their page on Facebook. If you've had a run-in with a deer, a fender bender, or any sort of accident with your vehicle, take it to Tony and the guys at Sigourney Body Shop at 210 West Clark Street in Sigourney. They'll get you back on the road in no time, and Tony will help you out with a free estimate. It's service with a smile at Sigourney Body Shop. Give them a call at 641-622-2022, or again, stop in at 210 West Clark Street in Sigourney.
Hi, I'm Krista Sellers, driver of the 7K Figure 8 race truck. I race at local Figure 8 tracks across southern Iowa. One of my good sponsors is CJ at Sigourney Motors. Next time you or someone you know is looking for a good used vehicle or in need of some minor repairs, you can contact CJ at Sigourney Motors. Give them a call at 641-224-8056 or stop by 705 East Jackson Street in Sigourney, Iowa. Hope to see you at the races or at CJ's shop.
Hey, and we're back for the last segment of Tuesday Night Tune-Up. We are live from our host venue, Oskaloosa Pizza Ranch. Also, we do thank our sponsors like Nutrien Ag Solutions in Keswick, Copeland Auto Body, Sinclair Napa, James Family Greenhouse, Sigourney Body Shop, and Sigourney Motors. Let's take it back now to Safe and Curtis. Guys.
Welcome back, race fans, to TNT, the Tuesday Night Tune-Up, and we are going to talk about some late model action that has happened. We're going to talk a little bit about some NASCAR stuff. Yep. We have this other big race called the Boone Super Nationals coming up as well. Yeah. And there is one thing I forgot to mention about the Knoxville Nationals I need to talk about real quick.
Fire away.
Another headline that happened at the Knoxville Nationals with a regular was the Rookie of the Year award.
Yes.
Went to Cam Martin, who has been running in the Sprint Invader series a lot. He has been weekly at Knoxville. His brother Chris Martin races as well. And Cam had a lights-out show, made it right into the A-main because of how well he qualified on his qualifying night, which was the same night as Ryan Timms. So it was cool not only to see a Knoxville regular make the pull and win the Nationals, but then you also saw a Knoxville regular that was able to get Rookie of the Year award as well. So shout out to Martin Racing and Cam Martin and that whole crew. Yeah. That was another really cool little nugget of cool stuff that happened at the Knoxville Nationals this year.
Yep, you're exactly right. That deserves mentioning. That's impressive, especially for a guy that typically does the 360 stuff.
Yes,
jump up in the 410 and to make that transition relatively effortlessly.
He did. Yeah, so that was awesome. So now let's talk about arguably one of the biggest races that happens in the dirt late model every year. Another crown jewel is the North-South 100.
Yes, and Florence Motor Speedway in Kentucky puts on some very very interesting racing, and it sounds like sometimes the party after the racing may be may have been
whiskey makes people frisky, and unfortunately for one driver in particular, the High Side Tickler, we'll just leave it there, we won't give his full name, the High Side Tickler, may or may not have found himself into the public drunk tank at the county jail there.
He may have had to make a pit stop from the racetrack.
He made a pit stop from the racetrack, but luckily it turned out pretty good, and he was able to come back and win the non-qualifier.
Yeah,
and
ended up in the non-qualifiers victory. Not the race that he wanted to win, but still.
No, but the good news was he did not go back into the end of the tank after winning the non-qualifier. Right, so improvements were made over the whole weekend.
Yes,
so good job. It's just always funny in a sense of there's always a headline at a race, whether it's silly season in sprint car racing with Donnie Schatz getting fired from his ride, or you're hearing about another driver fired from their ride, or someone drops a motor package or something, but not all the time do you hear about a driver and then openly post it on Facebook that they went from the drunk tank to victory lane.
Yeah, I don't think
that should get some T-shirt sales.
Yeah,
it's not normal.
Not a normal headline.
We hear a lot of headlines. We hear a lot of things, but drunk tank to victory lane, that's a good one. And I think they should start having T-shirts made with that.
Yeah, I think.
And I have a feeling that you're going to see the High Side Tickler's mugshot on some.
There's a very real possibility.
I just am not going to doubt that at all. So what a way to kick off the North-South 100.
Yeah, absolutely. And I tell you what, the race Saturday night was pretty darn good. And I don't think that Jonathan Davenport and Bobby Pierce are going to be exchanging Christmas cards anytime soon. I have
a feeling that there is going to be some repercussions from this for months to come, and
you could be right. I don't know.
That was quite a feature if you don't have Flow Racing, or that was on Flow, I believe.
Yep, it was on Flow.
I would either recommend you get it just to go back and watch that in its entirety, or they usually post a recap. I highly suggest you watch that because
very entertaining.
Boy, I tell you what, you want to talk about a bunch of darts being thrown on each other, and that's basically what happened. It was kind of like a rock'em sock'em robot situation, I felt.
Yeah, I thought it was shaping up to be a heck of a race, and then
it definitely was.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just it's one of those things. It's like you kind of hate to see a guy drive somebody bad when they don't necessarily need to, because it looks like they're in the faster car, but that's what maybe happened. So
yeah, you can't really. I feel like it's one of those no-win situations. It was very entertaining for a while.
Yes.
Am I shocked that happened? Absolutely not.
No.
I'm just gonna say that right now. I am not shocked at all about what happened, and I hate that we're getting to that to this point in the sports where we're seeing that. And real quick, I'll go back to Knoxville and unload a little bit there on. They had a bunch of stuff happen. David Gravel had an incident happen.
Yep.
Then we saw Brian Brown have an incident happen. And unfortunately, in these bigger shows with stuff like this, it's becoming more of, I'm just going to call it a norm, which it really is. And it's sad because, yes, it's not always the guy that's in the car's equipment, it's someone else's, but need to have that respect level there. And unfortunately, I feel like we're losing that some.
Yeah.
And I get it.
I think so. I don't know if either of the deals at Knoxville had to necessarily do with that, because
no, they didn't.
Like the Brian Brown deal. I don't know that the car ahead of him knew necessarily.
I really don't. And if you look at it inside a wing sprint car and you look at the right side, you can hardly see.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I'm not trying to use that example. I just say there was a lot of things that happened this weekend, but there were a few instances where it's like, do you really respect the other guy's stuff, or are you just trying to win the race at this point? And I get it. There's a lot of money. It's a crown jewel. I understand that aspect, but at the same time, you still have to give some.
Yeah,
especially when there's
the whole
a
risk
lot of
versus
laps
reward thing doesn't seem to weigh as much as it maybe used to. Let's just put it that way.
No, it's different now.
Yeah,
it's
I think it is. But I think that a lot of that also comes from, you see it in the upper levels of NASCAR, right? It's no big deal to just knock the guy out of the way. There's zero respect for that, and it's I'm old school. I'll admit it. I hate that. I'm not a rubbing is racing type of guy. I think if somebody runs into your car, that's because they made a mistake,
Right.
And I know not everybody agrees with that, and that's totally fine. But yeah, I don't know, because I get both sides of it, because you've also been in the situation where guys running you all over the racetrack, and it's like, okay, well, where do you draw that line, and
it's a tough line to draw. It's not an easy call. We can sit here and debate it all night, and we can
Monday morning quarterback it, right? And you can always make it make sense after the fact.
And you can be a Team Pierce, Team Davenport, or whatever. It's just there's a lot going on in this sport right now. It's in one of the better places it's ever been, but at the same time, I feel like it's in one of the toughest places it's ever been, with the amount of cars you're seeing torn up, body panels flying left and right and everywhere, and you're seeing a lot more debris to cautions, I feel, and it's different. And it's hard to argue that it's not, but it is. These cars are so the same now. And again, that trickles from the top,
Yep.
and it keeps trickling down
Yep.
more and more each week. So
Yeah, I think
don't
you're
know.
right. You know, I mean, just a couple weeks ago, we were talking about the unbelievable, wing sprint car side of things between High Limit and World of Outlaws. Well, I think maybe we just ignited the same thing on the late model side between
100%.
between Lucas Oil and late models. In World of Outlaw.
And it's
late
been
models,
like it's been kind of heading in that direction for a while, but now we're seeing the full clash of it take effect. But that was the thing where each one respected each other, and they were in the late model world. There's a lot more intertwining.
There
with
is.
the races.
There is,
You
yep.
see everyone getting along. Sprint car side, don't know why the World Racing Group has been the way they have been with the sprint car guys, but it has created this barrier and this break off, and it's about to get worse, I have a feeling. But anyway, so out of all this, Bobby Pierce did win the North-South 100.
Yep.
So we had that happen, and so now a quick thing on NASCAR is Shane Van Gisbergen announced earlier this week that he has signed an extension with Trackhouse.
Yep. He also
Good for-
won Watkins
he
Glen,
did.
so I think
Great.
has he won every road course race in NASCAR now this year?
I think so.
Yeah.
He's one-
So,
And I'm going to give my
he-
2 cents on something real quick is NASCAR needs to get rid of a lot of their road races.
I think you're right.
It is so horrible. I'll be honest.
I think it's
want to talk
it's one
about
of those things on the many thing list for NASCAR to fix, and they don't seem to be anywhere close to wanting to fix any of it.
What was NASCAR? What does NASCAR stand for?
National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing.
Stock car.
Stock car road racing.
Okay. Yeah, stock car racing.
Traditionally on an oval track.
If you went back and asked Alan Kwicky, or you asked Dale Sr., or you asked Bobby Allison, or you asked Darrell Waltrip,
Cale Yarbrough, Benny
Cale Yarbrough,
Parsons.
if you
Buddy
told these
Baker.
guys, hey, half your schedule now is going to be road courses, I can guarantee you the field would be almost completely gone. If anyone even showed up.
I would dare say if you asked Bill France Sr. or Bill France Jr. what you thought about,
They are
having
PO'd.
five road races a year,
Would not.
I don't think you would.
They would say one every 5 or something.
Yeah, maybe. I agree with you. I think
They're trying to get into. I feel like it's starting to turn into like IndyCar or like a just a Formula One deal, and that's not what this is. And we're going down a bad path.
Here's the thing that I think. I think NASCAR's doing these road races because the road race tracks are available in other countries. They want to make NASCAR multi-country, right? We went to Mexico this year. NASCAR went to Mexico, not we, I guess. I think that they want to do the same thing, right? I think they want to go to Australia. I think they want to go to Europe. I think they want to go, to the Asia Pacific Rim. I think that all these things that they want to, for whatever reason, they think that that's the right path. I'm an old soul, right?
Me too.
So I think that everything that they've done since the Car of Tomorrow has been really the wrong move. I think that NASCAR, I think the chase is wrong. I think today's car is wrong. I think that
I hate the stage breaks, too.
the stage breaks are wrong. I think that all of those things are fundamentally wrong with NASCAR racing.
I think they need
overall.
to change the name to N1 or Formula Stock Car or something.
Yeah,
or,
right. This
is so ridiculous, and it's so on everything that you think of when you look at the history of NASCAR. It's not fun to watch. You can't be innovative with your car. When you try to be innovative with your car, they DQ you, and they dock you, and they take people away from your team, and they do all this silly stuff. And I'm at the point where I am saying now, NASCAR, get it together. Or just quit being in existence, unfortunately, because this is so unfun as a fan.
I think you're right, and
thank God we have dirt track racing still.
Well, and let's face it, I think that that's a very big avenue of why dirt racing is so popular today, or not even just dirt racing, short track racing in general, dirt or pavement, is so much more popular than it was 20 or 25 years ago.
Yeah.
Because 20 or 25 years ago, NASCAR had everything, right? And then you heard, oh, we're scheduling races on a Saturday night, and we're taking fans that would normally go to their Saturday night track, they're staying home to watch Bristol.
Yeah.
Or they're staying home to watch Richmond or whatever. Or they're staying home to watch Daytona, when it was over to the July 4th weekend. So
it's getting worse. It's getting bad.
I think that's a big thing. So I think the short tracks, they love the fact that NASCAR's failing.
They do. Well, even Kevin Harvick, honestly, I mean, he bought Kearns. He's done great things with that facility.
He's a part owner of the Cars Series.
He is. So you see that succeeding.
Dale Jr. came out last week and talked about how he thinks that everything about the next-gen car is wrong.
You see Kyle Busch running with his boy and
Kurt Busch did the Chili Bowl.
Yeah.
Kyle Busch does the
Ty Gibbs getting into more guys are getting into circle or dirt track racing, and I love it. I hope they continue on that path. I hope that NASCAR doesn't.
And this isn't a
Jim
knock
Harden.
against Shane Van Gisbergen.
No, it's not.
Because he is an unbelievable talent.
He is great. It's good he came into the sport, I think, because obviously
it brings a lot.
Someone's got to look good on the road courses. So
and he does. And he is just literally head and shoulders above everybody else.
It's crazy.
Now, that being said, I think that, again, this is no reflection on him because by all accounts, he's an absolute ace and
I'd like to see
even
him in a
better
sprint
person.
car.
And I think that he's done some sprint.
I know. I'd like to see him get into it a little more. Hopefully that happens.
Yeah, maybe the Trackhouse deal.
Justin Marks,
him, so it's hard to
which
say.
I'm shocked. Justin Marks has a lot. I don't know.
I know.
We're gonna start wrapping this up here. I think so. One thing is, Curtis, last week, and this trickled over to earlier when Steve and I were eating, and I was talking about, I have an RC car race coming up this weekend in my shop, and I had challenged Steve last week.
Yes.
And then earlier he was talking a little smack how I can't be very good in a car. He's going to be way better and stuff. And so the call out,
some of that pro wrestling stuff.
When did I
isn't
say
it?
that? I don't remember.
So the call out is still there. And, Steve.
Is that next weekend?
Yeah, no, this coming weekend. This coming
okay.
Sunday. So, Steve, I want to know this right now. Are you going to accept my challenge? Or is this going to happen?
Well, let me tell you something, brother.
Oh, boy.
Me and all the Steve Shetler Media Maniacs are going to show up in your barn safe. Let me tell you this, and we're going to bring the madness to you. Dig it?
Wow.
Was that Hulk Hogan or was that Macho Man? I don't know.
It
The
may have
cream
been-
rises to the top.
May have been the best.
And
blend
you're
of
not
both.
the cream.
Oh boy.
Elizabeth, we'll see you at the barn. Yeah, dig it.
Okay, so there you go.
There it is. There it is.
The
match
call
set.
out has been accepted. So
What time is it?
racing starts at 4:30.
So I need to be there at about 4:29.
Yes.
And a half,
So
4:29 and
the
a half.
grudge race is going to happen at 2497 Highway 92, the barn, this weekend. Steve Shetler versus Safe Grafke, head to head. Do you want to run a truck or a late model?
Well, obviously one of those.
Well, you get to pick. Do you want a
How
truck
about we
or late
have-
model?
You have something and I'll have the other one.
Perfect. Well, no, we're going to run the same
What goes-
one.
no,
we're going to
what
run
goes
heads
faster?
up.
That's the one that I want.
They both go the same about. How about this?
I think this
How
is
about
rigged.
this? How about this? Trucks. Truck.
All right. I mean,
truck
I have
versus
no
truck.
skills in either one, so.
I hardly do either, so this is going to be interesting. So
This is
there
actually
you
a
go.
really close matchup.
Truck v truck. Steve versus Safe.
And
It'll
we want
be-
to recap on Monday morning show.
It'll be.
We'll take video.
It'll
There
be.
you go.
It'll be live on SG Race announcing the match will be.
Boy, here we go.
So
You're trying to get views on your outlet. I see how it is.
and it's going to be shared to Steve Shetler Media as well.
Oh, okay.
We'll
What's-
work
what's
those
the pri-
details.
Is there a prize? Is there something up for grabs?
What do you want?
What's on the line? What did you have in mind?
I don't know.
This could be interesting.
This could be-
Championships,
Cha-
glory.
How about this? The loser next week has to come on the show and wear a tutu.
Lord have mercy.
Who's supplying the tutu?
Wow.
How's that sound?
Maybe.
To be determined.
To be
TBD.
TBD.
It's going to be a tutu. We're going to make it happen.
We'll see about that.
Okay.
We'll see about that.
Cool.
So that's everything we got going on.
Yes, absolutely. Everything in
It's
the
gonna be
racing
fun.
world.
Everything in the racing world
More
we
than you
unpacked.
probably wanted to know at home.
So again, Ryan Timms wins Knoxville Nationals in his rookie
Unbelievable
attempt at
deal.
18,
Wow.
18 years old, 11 months and like 14 days, 9 to 14 days, something like that.
In that range.
Yes. Highside Tickler Publican talks showing the last chance or the non-qualifier at the North-South 100.
Bobby Pierce ran into somebody.
Bobby Pierce ran into somebody and won a crown jewel. Yeah, and then Shane Van Gisbergen won an extension with Trackhouse because they're probably going to run more road courses next year even. So
let's hope not.
And Steve versus Safe to wear tutu. So that's everything
Literally,
that happened on this episode of TNT, the Tuesday Night Tune-Up. I am your host, Safe Grafke. That's Curtis Vanderwall. Behind the camera, we got Steve Shetler. We were live from the Oskaloosa Pizza Ranch. Make sure you come one, come all. If you need a delicious pizza, come in and do a $9.99 carry out any day of the week. And we will see you all next week on TNT, the Tuesday Night Tune-Up.
And thanks to all of our sponsors. Again, Oskaloosa Pizza Ranch, Nutrien Ag Solutions in Keswick, Copeland Auto Body, also James Family Greenhouse, Sinclair Napa, Sigourney Body Shop, and Sigourney Motors.